Hello everyone. It's such a beautiful day. I thought I'd come outside here and talk a little bit. I've been out of it for the past 3 days, 4 days. I've been really bad, sick with a cold. Didn't get the flu, thank goodness. But I'm good now. I'm feeling a lot better. But yeah, it's such a beautiful day out here. It's like almost 70 degrees, and we just had snow like on Wednesday, so it's like one extreme to the other in a real small period of time here in North Carolina. But anyway, I kind of wanted to follow up from my last video on Tuesday. And one of the things that I keep talking about, and this is kind of going on kind of a different tangent than some of my other videos, but as we know, there's a lot of as I talked about, a lot of fear and things of that nature. And I think I've mentioned before in another video, previous video I've done, that where I grew up in Northern California, a lot of the JWs there that are still there were kind of like zombies when I was growing up, because they were, I guess because of the fear. And I think the fear is what really messed me up, and for quite a few years too, because I had anxiety problems from time of 11, and until recently have I had enough breakthroughs that I feel now that I have transcended that fear, or at least in the process of. And it feels so good because for the first time in my life I feel free. And one of the things I wanted to kind of touch on is I look at some of the ones here that are still practicing here, a lot of the JWs. It's like they're not zombies like the ones I was speaking of where I grew up several videos back, but they continue to play the game, or I shouldn't say play the game. I should say they continue to do what they think is right, which I have no problem with that. I'll never have a problem with that. But they seem to transcend that fear, so to speak, because they're not, these ones here at least, maybe it's a geographical thing, but they don't they don't act like everything that comes from the governing body is law and gospel. And I think that's great. I think that's a great stride. So perhaps there's a bit of evolution going on along with the society and what they've done all these years. I think people are, and whether they want to admit it or not, some of the friends that are still in the Watchtower Bible Tract Society are beginning to see certain things. And even though they're not at the point where they're just going to walk away, but they are going to take some things with a grain of salt. And I think that's good. That's the way, I guess, in a way, I was raised that way by my parents. And obviously, quite a few others have been, because so many that are around my age are thinking that way. And I think that's good. I really do. So maybe there's something good that comes out of this after all. I hope so. I really do. I realize there's so many things that they've got to take care of, that they've got to do right. But as of right now, that's going to take a while. But at the very least, I do believe that there are some that are beginning to rise up above those fear tactics. And those fear tactics are what keep people in line. And people will instantly recognize it in their line of work. Whatever company you're working for, you're definitely going to see it so quickly there. But you don't want to see it so quickly in a religious organization or any other type of charitable organization. Whatever you belong to, you definitely want to think the best because I mean, that's something that you put in your heart and soul into. And the same thing with a religious organization. If you put in your heart and soul into it, you don't want to think of the bad things, but then there comes a time where you have to accept it. And it's, I don't know, maybe I'm making maybe I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit here, but I think I'm kind of begin to see that a little bit in some areas now. Like I said, this is the southeast of the United States. This is the Bible Belt. And the fact that there are so many witnesses here that are beginning to be a little more liberal in their thinking, like whereas 20, 30 years ago, that's not the case. So maybe it's the influx of people from different parts of the country, different parts of the world. This is not just a southern area anymore. This is a conglomerate of people from all over the world. And that's the beautiful thing about it, people. I'm seeing that those different cultures blending in and allowing it to touch people. And they're able to maybe incorporate that in their lives, or at least take pieces of it and make a new thing for themselves. And they're beginning to think more. And with a lot of my recent breakthroughs, which there's two people that I have to really thank for that. And I have already told them that. So I'm not going to speak their names for the sake of their privacy. But they helped me to see the big picture from my perspective. Not just what everybody's supposed to see, but how things I view. See, everything that happens to our lives, everything that surrounds us, everything that penetrates us and affects our lives. Not, okay, that was not a Star Wars pun. I mean, kind of, but I truly believe this. Whatever surrounds us and whatever affects us is definitely based upon our perceptions, based upon how we think of them. And for each one of us, that is going to be completely different, because each of us have such different personalities that we cannot dictate how things feel to everybody. How we would react to something is not how everybody is going to react. And I guess that's the cool thing about it, because that shows the individuality. It shows that we're not just a pattern of ones and zeros that you would find in a program put in a simulated reality, like some people suggest, especially a lot of people in the scientific community, which I'm all about the scientific community, because I have a lot of faith in understanding of science, in mathematics. But I don't go so far as to say, hey, everything's coded, everything's the way it's going to be, and that's it. No. We have the control over the situation. We have the control over how it affects us, and how we can change how a bad thing affects us. That's what transcends us to that next level. And it's that next level of being able to see with a different viewpoint. Like, okay, you're looking at a large field on the ground. Now all of a sudden you're raised up to the height of some trees behind you, and now you're looking at the field from 40, 50 feet in the air. You have a different viewpoint of your surroundings. I mean, you can actually see a bit further. It's the same thing. When your knowledge and your understanding moves up to the next level, then everything starts to come into a better focus. At least that's the way it is for me. And I hope that is the way things are for you. And if it's not there, then you have that ability to make that happen. Okay? So, for instance, I've always been down on myself. Why? Why have I always been down on myself? Well, it doesn't help by the fact that I've had the anxiety problems that I do. I'm also very introverted because I don't mix well with a lot of people. I might stand back and listen more than I'm going to talk. If I'm in a crowd, that doesn't make me a bad person or a strange person, which I think that's what many people think when somebody does that. But we all know that that's not the case. They say still waters run deep. And that's always been the case. Me now, I'm a lot more outspoken than I used to be. But that's because I've had a little more years of experience behind me to be able to reinforce that. Probably when I get older, I'm probably going to be uh, a loudmouth. I don't know, but I'm not worried about that. I'm really not. Yeah, I really think that we have to look inside ourselves, not outside. Yes, I look rough. I am not the greatest looking guy. I don't care anymore. Okay, I used to worry about that stuff, and I used to be down on myself because I'm like, I'm not good enough. I don't look good enough. I don't care anymore. It's not the fact that I want to let myself go and say, who cares? I'm just saying that I can look at inside myself, and you know what? I see a beautiful person. I see a person that is who I want to be. And I'm finally following a pattern of life that I want to be. There's paths that we follow that may go to different places. Whatever our imagination desires, we can follow it because it's there. But the best path for us is not the one that's already been made, but it's the path we find for ourselves. And I think I'm finding that path. I really do. And it's not a situation I hope that I'd have. It's a situation where I know I have found my own path. And I know it's going to be different from everybody else. And that's okay. Because at the end, I'm probably going to meet with the same ones that have followed their own paths. Each one is going to end up at the same place, or at least the rudimentary facts of what the end is going to be, whatever the end outcome is. So that's kind of where I am now. I'm in a much better place, spiritually, mentally, especially mentally and emotionally. And I really, like I said, there's two people I really thank, and I hope they see this video. And of course, there's some others too that have helped me along the way. And when they say that when you face a deep medical crisis or accident or something like that, that a lot of times those people find a spiritual avenue that they never knew existed. And that is definitely my case. Because as I said before, facing kidney disease is not by any means just a flash in the pan. That's a totally body, mind, soul thing. It changes everything. It just changes everything. Because I mean, let's face it. I have a machine that if I don't use that machine, I will die, and that's just the facts. And I'm not going to do that because I still love my life. I don't care what's going on around me. Where I'm sitting right now is beautiful to me because I'm at my home. I'm in a pretty good neighborhood. I have good neighbors, good people that I've talked to, that we've helped each other out, things like that. That to me, there's nothing like that. I don't have to hope for something. It's like I already have it, okay? And I don't need to have a special garden with everything in there for me. I don't mind working hard for having to get what I need. And sometimes those needs are a little hard to come by, but I make it because it's because I don't worry about the future anymore. I don't let that bother me. And it's not just a JW thing. I think that's a lot of people. They're just constantly looking forward to the future. And you don't live in the life now, okay? If any of you out there are Star Wars fans, and I know many Star Wars fans do not like the prequels, but there was one particular one in The Phantom Menace, Episode 1, that I really liked. And Qui-Gon Jinn told a young Obi-Wan Kenobi, do not center on your anxieties. Live in the here and now. The living force is what he was talking about. And that's kind of what I'm talking about now. Living in the here and now. Living each day, not that as if it's your last, but live each day as it's coming, as if the gift that you're here again. Do something special with it. It doesn't have to be something huge. It's just something that's just little, that brings you joy. I mean, yeah, I come out here and I see squirrels everywhere. I just love to watch the squirrels. I see how the weather changes the surroundings. The leaves fall off the trees. You have the plants have died out, and here soon, probably in the next month, things are going to start blossoming again. And the circle of life, and how everything just continues to circle around: life, death, born, things reborn, and it's a flow of energy that we can't stop. And once you let go and you allow yourself to enter in to that cycle of life, that circle of life, now that's where you find it. And that's where you find peace, tranquility, and serenity. I can't talk much more about that, because I mean, I can't talk enough about it, is what I should say. That I really think that's what we all need to find. And I really hope the rest of you do. And anybody who comes across this video, please pay attention, because I know I'm not the best of speakers on YouTube, and I don't claim to be. But I have an interesting story to tell. And I'm trying to do that with each and every video that I come up with. And to me, in my heart, I feel like each one it gets a little bit better than the previous. And I really hope it does. And I really hope for those that do watch, and that those have subscribed, I really hope it benefits you, because that's really the ultimate purpose for me getting on here and doing this. Because, I mean, yeah, it helps me to be able to just sort of let out my feelings, because it's easy to do on the camera of my phone when nobody's standing here in front of me. But you know what? If you all were just standing right here in my front yard, listening to me talk, it would be the same thing. And I'd be telling you the same thing, and it wouldn't bother me one bit, because this is deep in my heart, deep in my soul. And I wish everyone to find this same peace. I really do. I hope you do find it. For those struggling, those that are hurting right now because of Watchtower, or whatever type of cult you might have come from, or anything, I hope this is something that helps you, that this is something that's going to benefit you as you find that inner peace. That's what's important, because that's where life is. It doesn't matter how long or how short your life is here on earth. It's that quality of it. And I'm not talking about having the best of homes, having the best of cars, having the best of everything. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about how life feels for you. So right now, I can't really say that I wish my life was better, because as long as I'm feeling as well as I am now, it's not better. It's just life, happy life, and I'm good with that. So, and I hope you are too. I really do. And if you're not, I hope that you find that, because it is a long struggle. And trust me, it it has been going on with me all of my life, at least 35 years, but especially the last four. The last four have been so. Um, but don't please don't let a life-altering event happen before you do that. But I guess sometimes that's what it takes for people. So please find happiness in that tranquility, because that is what makes you feel the best. Okay, I've taken enough of your time. I love you all. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to your comments. We'll talk to you again. Bye bye.